All right, we got the little trailer update here. We got the lights running and installed on the sides. Got the runner markers and the backlight, which is cool. You want to do the left turn signal? And then the right. And let's check out the brakes. All right, that's cool. Thank you. Turn it off. So this brake system, this wiring was relatively straightforward, but it required a little bit of extra attention, because the way that these Harbor Freight brake systems and trail lights work is they use the frame for the ground. So you'll see here on the actual light, this is the back light here, the driver's side light, and it actually comes with 2 wires in with the light system here, and then you got to make the connection into the wires that run all the way up into the main plug where it plugs into the vehicle. And what they were doing for the ground, which I'm using this green wire just because I had it around, is they're using the metal part of the connection inside of this sealed light, and it's supposed to be bolted. This is supposed to be bolted directly to the frame, which in my case is over here. So that's the metal frame, okay? But because I built my trailer out and it's actually wood, there's no connection all the way. So, and this is a common problem actually, because even if I didn't have this setup where the frame was built out with wood and you were connecting it directly to the metal chassis of the original trailer, there was notorious for faults, and I think they actually had a recall on that setup. So so what I did is I just did a home run on the ground, and I just used this wire here, which I had in stock, and I connected it, and that's the ground, which you would ordinarily be connected through this metal bar right here, bracket, onto the metal chassis. So, and then that would home run all the way to the front of the trailer, and then from there you would screw on this extra little white piece, which is actually the ground. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it comes from Harbor Freight, is you get this set up here. Okay, so so the white is the ground from Harbor Freight, and then the brown and let's see here, I gotta get this right, the brown and yellow go back to the driver's side, and then the other brown and yellow, which you can see here, okay, so you get the brown and yellow that goes to the driver's side, and then the green and yellow, or the green and brown, goes to the passenger side. And then that's the ground that I use. Don't pay attention to that color, this green right here, okay? Because ordinarily what would happen is, you can see at this connection, look how short this is. This connection here, which is usually a universal fit that connects to the back of your truck here, okay? But it didn't fit my new truck. So this ground would just be bolted or screwed right into the frame, okay? And then the metal frame would channel all the way back to the back lights to act as the ground. Okay, that's hokey in my opinion. So what I did is, instead of using the chassis, here's that green wire that you saw all the way in the back, I just did home runs all the way back to the lights on both sides and the markers. And what you do is you just tie in, okay? So, and that's so then a little bit extra that I had to do here is I had to go buy an aftermarket connection piece for the 4-pin. My 4-pin on my new Dodge Ram was larger than the 4-pin that came with the Harbor Freight trailer set, which in all fairness, I bought this several years ago. I'm gonna say 6, 7, 8 years ago. So they may have updated this by now, I don't know. And then I just did connections, just spliced it in there with some shrink wrap. So, and then in here, in these little markers, you'll see inside there is the light but on the light is actually a little metal tab, and that's the ground. So this marker only comes with a little one wire that sticks out of it, and then what they were using for the ground is the metal tab on the light itself. Can you see that in there? Way in there, you see that? They had a metal tab that was just pressing, kind of like with the force of the springiness of the metal, and it's actually attached to the light. A little teeny tiny light in there, LED light, I think. And you were supposed to grind off a part of the coating, the metal coating, the paint of the trailer, and that little tab would just push against the trailer, and that was supposed to be the ground. I don't operate that way. So I just connected my home run ground. You saw the green wire that I was using. You can choose whatever color you want. If you want to make it white to match the, you know, the harness, that's fine. I just happen to have green in stock, and I like to use what I have. I don't like making special trips to the, you know, stores. So so I used that, and I just made a direct connection to that ground in there, which is actually on the light, and then you tap in the brown wire from the light, or from the light unit here, into the brown wire that goes back to the rear trailer light. Okay, so I'm going to try to get underneath here, and I apologize if it's really shaky or whatever. So you can see the connection there. It's the home run. And literally what you do is you can see the connections coming in and going all the way back. So that's going back towards the trailer in the back, all the way in the back. And you can see this is the passenger side. So you got your yellow and brown, and then you got your ground, okay? So you follow all the way up to the front. Now granted, your trailer is going to look a little different because your trailer isn't built out like mine. So you're going to have the metal, all right? This is wood here, so that's why it looks different. So what you do is, from the side marker, there's one wire that comes out, and you tap that in to the brown. You just splice it in to the brown that's coming from the back of the trailer, okay? And then inside here, this little marker, you just hook on to the little metal tab, goes through the frame, and you again tap it in to your ground wire, and then the ground wire goes all the way to the front of the vehicle, okay? So, and then the same thing on the other side. You can see the ground and everything. I gotta tie that in a little bit better, but just it home runs all the way down. Okay. So that was project number one. Sorry about the video quality here. That was project number one on the trailer build here. And then the other thing I decided to do since I was out here is, and I've been wanting to do this for a while because I want to charge you know, my batteries, etc. So we're on the side of the trailer now, okay? And let's go up. By the way, this trailer build was done I don't know, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. It's still holding up pretty good. And there's my connection there. Connection there for my homemade door, which is a total Frankenstein, I know. Check out the trailer build on my channel if you didn't see it. This is just all pieces parts. So I put in a new solar system, which the main impetus was that I was finally getting around to doing the lights on the trailer, and then also I had this battery here, which isn't ideal. It's an old car battery, but I just had it. It was for free. Someone gave it to me, and I charged it, and it held the charge, so I decided to just go ahead and do the solar. So I got a solar kit. It's a Renogy solar kit. Let me see if I can get up here and show you. There we go. So a 100 watt solar kit. And it's pretty simple to install. Comes with these brackets. It's about $140-ish on Amazon. And it's nice. This is a nice solid aluminum one. And you just screw it to the top, and I put a little gaskets in there. And they have easy quick connect wire connections for the solar panel. And then these wires just come down from the solar panel itself, so it's come through the roof. So come down through the roof, and then it comes into this area here, which I thought would be a pretty nice area to have at level, because I can just get right in there and, you know, put my batteries and whatnot. So what you have, and I've never done solar before, so I kind of just wanted to go over this. It's really easy. If anybody's thinking about putting a solar panel up, it was really easy. Most of the time was just making sure the wires didn't get kinked and just doing a nice install, so it's done properly. But you should be doing that with anything anyway, okay? Even if it looks like garbage, I mean, try to do it right. So what you got is you got the kit, the solar panel, which is on top, and I showed you that, okay? And the other parts of a solar, just a kind of like a small solar system. This isn't for your house necessarily. This is for, a trailer or RV, van life, those guys, that kind of thing. And so you have the battery right here. Again, this isn't ideal, apparently, to have a car battery to be used for solar. They have different types of batteries that are more ideal, lithium ion, things like that. Okay, you look into that if you want. But it does hold a charge, and it's fine. It just, what happens is the charge will go up and down, not as fast. So when a car, it has very small charges, it starts the car, and then the alternator kicks on and recharges the start. Okay, whatever juice was used as the start. And then the alternator, while you're driving the car, basically provides enough electricity for everything that the car uses, and also recharges the battery. Maybe, I guess, if you're really taxing it and, you're just using all kinds of electronics, maybe it'll take a little juice out of the battery. But for the most part, when you're driving, the alternator just charges the battery when you're driving. So that type of, quick start and amperage and quick recharge is more ideal for this style of battery here. Whereas in solar, you have long trickles, okay? So the sun comes up, the solar panel gets activated, but when the sun rays hit it, and then it trickles in all day long. So what you gotta have, and this comes with the kit, and you can see here, this is a Wanderer solar charge controller. Comes with 3 lights up here. This is the photovoltaic cells, aka the solar panel on the roof. This is the battery, and then this right here tells you what type of battery that you have: sealed, gel, flooded, blue, Li, which is lithium ion. I believe it's lithium ion, and that's like the gold standard from what I understand is the lithium ion. I don't know, I'm just getting into that. So and then you can select which ones you want. It tells you, and you can see they're all green, which is good, it's desirable. And the flashing light right here means that the solar panel is actually generating electricity, and then the battery on mine is topped off. Okay, so this Wanderer unit right here, which is a 30 amp unit, I guess it just got upgraded from a 10 amp or something like that, but it's basically a starter pack. Okay, you can actually hook up 4 panels, I believe, to this. I only have 1, so this will hold, I think, or be able to handle up to 400 watts theoretically max for 100 watt panels from the Renogy company, which I think has been around for a long time, and they're pretty respected, and I paid a couple dollars extra to go with them because of their reputation and reviews. So far I'm happy with it. You guys figure it out on your own if you want. There's a couple cheapy ones out there that I passed over to save 20 bucks. Just wasn't worth it. So anyhow, you have the lights, or the wires that come in from the roof. Okay, I just have it coiled up here just for the keeping them out of the way, and they feed into the solar panel area right in here. Okay, and you have your positive and your negative. Very simple. And then you have the connections here and here on your battery. And as you can see, this is the positive, and then negative side on that side has a little minus side on there. And you just take off the little tips on these wires. Very easy to get off. They're actually already pre-cut for you. You just take off the tips of the wires, put it up in there, and screw the little screw fasteners in. And then you have to correspond with the proper wire from the positive side of the battery to the positive side of the solar charge controller, and then also the negative side, vice versa. So very simple. And then what that does is that gives you the ability to charge a battery. Okay, so you don't have to have a battery. I suppose in these solar setups you could run it directly to an inverter, or if you want, you could just have it as direct DC. Solar panels generate DC, which is direct current. All right, most household appliances, and in my case for construction, most tools run on AC, which is called alternating current. All right, so big difference. If you're really nerdy and you want to get back into it and look at the history, go check out Tesla versus Edison. Edison was DC and Tesla was AC, and the guy actually killed an elephant. You know, Edison. I mean, that guy was something else to discredit Tesla's AC. And they had pros and cons about the length of the distribution of the different types of systems, etc. Eventually, AC won out, and it was just far superior. But having said that, solar panels generate electricity in DC, so you need to transfer that into something that's useful that our modern appliances can use, which is AC. So this one right here, and this one I got actually at Harbor Freight. You just turn it on. Okay, it has a little battery. This one I thought was 2 female ports for the electricity, and then it also had like a little USB receptacle there, so if I wanted to, I could charge my phone or something like that when I'm out on a job. This is the Jupiter, and it's the 1000 watt 2000 watt peak. So what that means is that you can run 1000 watts out of this thing all day long, and that is ideal for things like circular saws and other types of power equipment. Okay, because most of those will run, depending on what you're using, what kind of power tool, that's going to run every bit of 800 to 1200 watts, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, and it has a max peak of 2000 watts. So if you have a surge, let's say your circular saw is really binding down and needs a lot of juice, it'll go up to 2000 watts. So for that time where you're really pressing it and you need just that little bit of extra power. So that's why I decided to go with this model right here. It's about $90 at Harbor Freight. Comes in this little box, and you can see that it converts vehicle 12 volt DC power to household 120 volt power, or as we call that, a 110. Usually a lot of people refer that as the 110, but you see it 110, you see 115, this one says 120. It's all the same. So you get 110, 115, 120. It's all the same. It's going to operate all your standard stuff. Okay, even like a refrigerator, that'll be like a 110, unless you get like a crazy deep freeze, which might bump it up to 220, or like your electric if you have an electric dryer or a washer in your home, that would be like a 220. So those really draw a lot of juice. But for the most part, almost everything operates on 110. So just 110, 115, 120, they're all talking about the same thing. That's fine. Okay, so what's really interesting about this charge controller too is that you can actually overcharge your battery. So if you didn't have a charge controller, let's say you just direct connected your solar panel to the battery, you could actually fry this battery. It'll just keep on pumping and pumping and pumping, I don't know, electrons or electrons probably, down into the battery, and it'll cook. And then, you know, your battery will be it'll just be toast. So you can actually feel it heating up too. Mine feels fine, but you can feel these things heating up if you overcharge them, and it'll boil. You know, these things have water in them or gel in some of them. You'll ruin your battery. So this charge controller, it regulates how much juice is coming from the battery and from the solar panel, and it will not allow the solar panel to overcharge your battery, and it knows how much juice is in your battery, and then to turn on the valve, you know, the proverbial valve inside here, the switch, to allow juice to come down from the solar panel and feed into the battery. Okay, so this power inverter, because it changes or inverts DC to AC power, is necessary then if you want to run like most of your major handheld appliances and things of that nature. And it's actually pretty cool. It works great. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to bring out my saw. And, you know, I mean, you just have your standard plug. Look at that. It's awesome. Let's turn that off. Turn it off. Let's try it. See? Nothing. No, I mean, it's I don't know. I find this stuff interesting. I think it's amazing. You know, I really just think that's amazing. Then, you know, just turn it off and unplug it. It's kind of cool. So, so far so good. I really haven't put it to the test in terms of using all the juice or draining it down and things of that nature. Supposedly you're not supposed to drain down the batteries less than 50%, that kind of thing. So I really haven't put it to the test. But all in all, this is going to allow me to have a little bit more freedom and, you know, to recharge the batteries for the power tools that I use, and then also just to run regular power tools off of that charge inverter without having to take a generator or something with me at pretty low cost. I mean, you're looking at, gosh, $140 ish, you know, for the solar panel kit, which comes with quite a lot, and then the inverter, which is, you know, $90. And then the battery I had for free. I guess you could buy, you know, an extra battery for probably another $90 for. So I mean, you know, $300 and you got electricity on the go that's reliable, and it'll generate for free basically, you know, I don't know, for forever, you know, for the next 25 years or so. Might have to change out the battery in between now and then, but you know, how convenient is that, having that? So one other thing I wanted to mention is that on the back of the charge or the inverter, there is a ground, which again, I just used that same green wire that I had sitting around earlier, and I just attached that to the chassis this time for the ground. And then for the positive, I just use some standard. This is actually, I think it was like 12-2 that I split from coax or from Romex, and I just connected that in to the inverter and the negative end to the other part of the inverter, and they just have like little wing nuts back there. So super cool, super happy about this. The other thing I'm going to do with that is I am going to see, there's the other one. You'll notice back here, see those home run wires on that kit? It's green and brown, and then I did the home run for the ground. But the one that comes with the kit is this one, and it only comes, I don't know, 6 inches or so, right? So then you got to make a connection into the rest of it that goes all the way back to the harness to the front of the vehicle. So gorgeous day here in Ohio, man. Coming into late September, just really gorgeous. Got the hot tub. So yeah, this little project. Anyhow, oh, so what I was going to say is the other thing I'm going to do now that I have power on the trailer is I'm going to add some lights to it. That you know, some work lights. I have a couple floodlights that I have, and that'll, you know, give you just a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more extended time, and just nicer working conditions, really, to when you're working outside and it starts to get darker. So, all right, that's it for now. Thanks, guys. Bye.